I had the tremendous opportunity to sit down with Karissa Peach. She's the director of sales at The Orchard, which is a true independent living community located in beautiful Ventura, California. I really hope that you could see the passion within Karissa and how much she really enjoys her job. The interview really highlights the benefits of living within an independent living environment. I want to say thank you again to Karissa for sitting down and giving me the opportunity. I hope you enjoy the video and you're able to get a lot out of it.
My name is Karissa Peach. I'm the director of sales here at The Orchard in Ventura, California.
So what is an independent living community?
An independent living community is a community for folks who really just want to enjoy their retirement. What we provide here with our amenities, with 3 meals a day, light weekly housekeeping, as well as local transportation, daily activities. What we're providing here is an ease of living by taking these seemingly small tasks off of their plate, by giving them the freedom to have time to socialize and do the things that they truly enjoy after they've worked their whole life.
You mentioned amenities. So what amenities do you guys offer here in the community?
So alongside the 3 meals a day, which are chef prepared, they're also served restaurant style, so you don't have to get up to order your food. We have waitstaff that will come to you. We also provide light weekly housekeeping. Once a week, a housekeeper will come in and help with a few tasks around your apartment. We also have local transportation a few days a week. It is scheduled, but it can take you to not only errands and appointments, but personal outings as well to go visit friends and family, or if you want to go catch a movie. We also provide entertainment here in-house, and we do also do outings to take our residents out to enjoy what's going on in the local community.
Okay, so what type of person would really thrive in this environment? What do you see? What's a typical resident, and who would really just enjoy living here?
The type of person that would enjoy living here is someone who really enjoys their independence still, but recognizes that a little bit of help isn't going to hurt them.
Okay.
Our goal isn't to take away any level of independence. Our goal is to allow them to maintain that independence with that little bit of help, and to allow them to thrive, so to speak, would be giving them the freedom to socialize with their neighbors, giving them the freedom to come and go out of the building as they please. You don't have to check in, you don't have to check out. We're not taking any of that autonomy away. We're putting you in a place where you're going to have a sense of community and safety, as well as ease of living.
Regarding the community here, it seems very beautiful. The outside is very beautiful. I checked out the apartments. They're really nice.
Thank you.
What about the culture and the atmosphere here within the residence? What are you finding? What are you seeing? How are they interacting? Can you kind of get into that?
Of course. Our residents really look out for one another. We have a true sense of community within the folks that live here and work here. I always say, you always got an eye on you in this community. Everybody really does come together to look out for one another. Nobody's perfect by any means, but our residents take a lot of pride in this building. This is their home, and for some of them, this is their last home. So they love it, they want to enjoy it, and they want to welcome anybody else into their home who's going to appreciate that sense of community and having an eye out for one another.
So aging in place, what do you have set up within the community for that individual to age in place?
So we have a third-party care company called Choice Healthcare within our building. They have an office. They provide not only home health, they provide caregiving, physical therapy, occupational therapy, hospice, palliative hospice as well. With that being in our building, it allows our residents to know that if and when that time comes, the support is ready and waiting for them here. They're allowed to cultivate a relationship with the caregivers and the team within the building as well, so they're familiar with them when that time comes. So with us having those services available to them, it does allow them to age in place, but it also allows them to remain in a state of autonomy with their care choices as well. They're not being forced to pay for more services than what they need. Some of the services can be offered a la carte. And our goal is to allow and support our residents to age in place, because it is stressful to move from one environment to another and can actually cause more setbacks. Our biggest concern is safety. So as long as it makes sense for our residents to stay here with that extra care and it's still a safe environment for them, meaning they're ambulatory and can remove themselves from the building in an emergency, and as long as they're not putting themselves in dangerous situations, why would we ask anybody to move away from their home that they've chosen as hopefully their last?
Regarding health checks, do you guys check on residents health-wise just to see how they're doing, not only physically, but mentally?
That's where the sense of community really comes in my opinion.
Okay.
Our residents really truly look out for one another. They notice each other's habits. So if they notice a change in someone's habit, they do bring that to management's attention. So typically, we do notice changes in our residents. Don't get us wrong.
Yeah.
But typically, it will come from a resident that they're friends with.
Okay.
Because they really truly look out for one another. And outside of that as well, if we get a concern call from a family member, we will immediately go do a wellness check. If they've called, for example, we had somebody call in and say, "Hey, I haven't been able to reach my mom in 3 days. Can you go knock on her door and see if she's okay?"
Yeah.
We immediately ran up there. Her phone had been dead for a couple days. She couldn't find her charger. And, we do also, for another layer of safety, we do provide the Lively devices that our residents are encouraged to wear. They're pendants that they wear. They push the button if they're having any kind of emergency, if they're unable to move. They just push that button and somebody will answer on there. They will get a live dispatch on the line. They will know who they are, which apartment and which building they are in. And they will say, "Hey, how can we help you?" And they will send the appropriate help. What also is great about that device is it not only will reach them to dispatch, it can also reach a family member in an emergency to put that call out and say, "Hey, so-and-so is on their way to the hospital." And it does also alert our management here in the building as well. So anytime those buttons are pushed, management is made aware and any family members. So if we see that someone is a safety risk within the community, our executive director would then, take it upon themselves to reach out to the family and just describe the observations. We're not doctors. We're not here to tell anybody what they can or cannot do. But if there is disruption or, maybe somebody is getting out at night and wandering, that is a red flag for us as well. We want our residents to be safe. So immediately the executive director will call the family, explain those observations, and then work closely with the family to see if maybe a little bit more oversight from the third-party care in our building is suitable. Because a lot of the times when someone does have dementia, it can be very challenging to move them from a familiar place. So that's where our aging in place comes back into play. Our goal is to allow them to stay here. We don't discriminate if memory changes as long as it continues to remain a safe place. So our first goal is to see if our home health team can step in and further assist, maybe get on a schedule. Sometimes it's medication. Sometimes it's things that we don't see that the doctor needs to pinpoint. Sometimes it's an infection that can create these issues. So really it's about our executive director making that observation, making that phone call to the family, and then working alongside our home health as a first step to see if that would make a difference in their lives to continue to enrich them living here. And then if it needs to move on to other options, then that's a discussion that the family would then move forward with on their own and let us know what they've decided.
When somebody first moves into the community, how does that work? Like the integration of that new individual? Do you kind of help them meet other individuals, or do they just does it naturally happen?
So when we're integrating new residents into the building, it's kind of both naturally as well as introductions. We do have resident ambassadors. So resident ambassadors, when we do have tours, they will eat lunch with them. If they're around in the building, because of course they have their lives too. If they're around in the building, they will introduce themselves as well. And when new residents move in, those ambassadors, so to speak, will kind of take them under their wing, answer any questions, direct them where they need to go if they find that they are a little lost, or if they're coming down for their first meal and they seem a little overwhelmed. They will, invite them over to their table, of course. And, we have a really friendly community as it is. Being independent living, we tend to be a little bit more fun, more outgoing, a little bit charismatic, and they get really excited when someone new moves into the building. And like I said, they keep an eye out for one another. So the moment they see someone new, it's excitement for them. And I have one resident in particular who goes out of her way to assure them, "We've all been in your shoes. Don't be nervous. I'm here if you need anything." And then the staffing is always here for support as well.
From my experience, I always tell people it takes anywhere from a month to 6 weeks to completely adjust.
Yes.
So that first month is a struggle.
Yeah.
It's a struggle for everybody, no matter where they move into. That could be like a small little boarding care all the way to like assisted independent living. It's just that month is a struggle. But from 4 to 6 weeks, there seems to be some kind of a mindset change.
Yeah.
Is that kind of what you see, or what do you see in this kind of an environment?
So when they do first move in, there certainly is a moment of overwhelm. It's not lost on us, but that's where the residents, our staffing comes into play. A lot of the times they're more overwhelmed with bringing all of their items into something much smaller. So their focus is there. So when it's come times for meals, they'll come down for their meals, and maybe they've met a neighbor in the midst of moving in and out who has invited them to lunch, which helps tremendously. So you will definitely see, little sparks of interaction slowly begin. But with the fact that we have a really, really vibrant activity director, Mindy, we would be so lost without her. She does so much to encourage residents to get out, even though they're focused on moving in. She wants them to come out and meet people. Our goal is to have them meet folks as soon as possible, because the longer it takes them to come out and meet anybody else in the community, the harder it is for them down the line to break that habit. And the goal is, when you move somebody into our community, because some of them are coming from lack of socialization, it's very important for them to socialize right off the bat. So we try to be mindful of their move-in process needing some time, but with the encouragement of their neighbors, as well as our activity director, inviting them out, we find that helps with the transition, because they're able to focus more so on the fun than the tasks of settling in, unpacking, and getting used to the environment. The more that they're able to interact with activities, they're like, oh, this is where I want to be. This is why I chose to move here. This is where I want to be, because it's fun.
So what do you like about your job?
What I love about my job is the connections I make with the folks that choose to move into our community. I love learning the stories of where they've come from, what they've experienced, and what they've seen, because it makes me excited to introduce them to other folks that they can relate to and share these stories with as well. Not only that part, but when you meet somebody who has been isolated, just over time it happens, they're losing friends over time, and they just kind of hole up in their home. And when you finally get them out and they see other folks their age having fun, you kind of see that glimmer of life come back. And so as the process moves forward of them making the decision, moving in, you really see a turnaround on that part of themselves that I feel that they lost due to this isolation, and they see a little bit of hope in finding friends again, and it helps with them overall, their health and well-being. And that's what keeps me going, is seeing them come to a community where they're unsure, because it can be scary, but realizing, you know what, I still got a lot of life left to live, and this is a place that I want to do it. And I can tell that there's a sense of community here, and to see them really embrace it, that's what I enjoy about my job.
Before we wrap up this conversation, are there any last thoughts or words that you can give to somebody that may be thinking about moving into an independent living community?
There's no right or wrong age. I think what's important to consider is your autonomy. When folks move into an independent living community, they choose an independent living community because they want to remain in control. Now, if you wait too long for something to happen, you're going to lose that sense of control, and you're going to be forced into making decisions that you might not feel good about in 3 months, 3 weeks. So when your wheels start turning and you're thinking about your future, that's probably when you should start looking into different options. Because in my opinion, I feel we all intuitively know when it's time for the next step or a change in our life. And so if you follow that intuition and you're realizing that you're not enjoying cooking, you're getting overwhelmed with maintenance, those are your markers. Those are what you want to look for when you're, trying to figure out the next steps of your life to put yourself into a safe situation or a safe community. Because we find that that's usually what it is. There's overwhelm with the small tasks, which to us are small tasks. But when we remove that from their plate, they're able to thrive.
I wanted to say thank you again to Karissa Peach for the time in the interview. I hope you all were able to learn something from this and really see the passion that these individuals have in working within the independent living community. Take care, and we'll see you on the next lesson.